Welcome again to another season of Kids Inc. Recreational Indoor Soccer. Like I say in every video, I really appreciate you guys, and we can't do this program without you guys, so I'm looking forward to this season. Alright, so let's get started. The season's going to begin on March 20th. That'll be when our first game starts, and our season will end on May 6th. So it's a pretty long season, but we've got quite a few teams, 4 fields, so we'll get all you guys 8 games in. Payment's going to be due March 8th. If you can't pay by March 8th, just call the office or tell us that you still want to play, and we'll get you paid before the first game. But let's try to get it in by March 8th so you can get your share with the rest of the teams. This is the coaches meeting. We'll be sending you an email with this link. Be sure you watch it, because a lot of coaches tell me in the middle of the season they didn't know that they couldn't wear cleats, or we couldn't wear jewelry, dangling earrings. So make sure you watch the video and you can know all these rules so we're on the same page when the season starts. So this league is going to be ages 4 years old to 5th grade. So what we're going to do, we're going to have 10-player roster maximum for the 4-year-olds to 3rd grade, and 8-player maximum for the 4th and 5th graders. If you choose to take extra players, that's going to be okay. It's up to you if you want more players than that, but we won't force you to take that many, but we may call you and we can talk about it, because we do want to make sure every kid gets to play. Don't want to leave any of them out. We're going to check you out a couple of soccer balls. Once you get those, use them throughout the season, but let's get those turned in right after the last game. We'll probably have some tubs or something set up down at the sportsplex. You can just drop them in there, or if you don't do that, then you can bring them by the office as soon as possible. We want to continue to give you guys that equipment every year, and the only way we can be able to do that is to have those returned after the end of the season. So when you get your roster from the office, please call every parent on that roster. After a bit, you can start a group text or to get through the season, but let's begin by calling them and talking to them personally. We don't want it to get lost in the shuffle on non-return text. Make sure you talk to every one of them. If you're having trouble getting hold of any of the kids, just get hold of us. Maybe we can help you get communicated with them, because it can be some people change numbers and we have it, but you don't. So let's make sure that we're communicating. Many times we find ourselves a week later in the season or one day before the season, and a parent hasn't even been contacted about what team they're on. And we don't want that to happen to the kid especially. It's not the kid's fault. Let's just do a good job of communicating and make sure we're on the same page. Okay, once again, let's cover the shoes real quick. In that indoor facility, no cleats or spikes of any kind. If you have turf shoes with like 30 or more little rubber spikes on them, that's a turf shoe. Those are okay. Tennis shoes are okay. We had an incident where a 6-year-old came to play, ready to play, excited, and she couldn't play and had to go home and get other shoes because they wore cleats. So let's make sure, because we're telling you right now not to wear those type of shoes. First thing, we don't want them catching it on the cleat and hurting themselves. That's the main thing. Second thing, we want to keep that turf real nice. We don't want rips in them or tore up, so that way we can keep you a nice facility out there. Shin guards, must wear shin guards. That's non-negotiable. 5th grade, all the way down to 4th grade. 4 years old, you have to wear shin guards. Let's make sure we're protecting our shins. A lot of kids can get hurt like that. All right, earrings and necklaces, things of that matter. If they're dangling, no, we can't do it. You cannot have any of that stuff on. If it's a stud earring, sometimes those little ones just got those. We're going to make a change here. You can put athletic tape, which we prefer, or Band-Aids over those earrings. So that way they can't catch it on anything. But we can do that. Let's just make sure we do it before they're out on the field. Any religious symbols, anything like that, if it's real tight, let's try not to wear anything like that. But if you do have it, it won't come off, then we can talk about that. But that's something that you'll call in the office and we can talk about. Game rules. Each player, this is full mandatory playing time. Each player must play 1 full quarter. Halves are 20-minute running clocks, so that means they must play half of the first quarter. If you end up taking more kids than the maximum, of course you'll have to work around that. One kid may play 9 minutes, one kid may play 8, but get them all even playing time. We don't want one player on a 10-person team staying out there 40 minutes and everybody else playing 6 minutes. Please make sure that they're playing 1 full quarter and a half. It's a 40-minute game, so 20 minutes first half, 20 minutes second half, 5 minutes halftime. Clock keeps running, even on timeouts. You get 2 timeouts, but that clock will keep running. If you've been to the sportsplex, you'll see one huge clock up on the wall. And all the games are on that. We don't start late for any games. So game time is important. Be there on time. 1 o'clock, that game starts at 1 o'clock, even if one field's not ready. That clock's going to stop. Mandatory, you can either sub at the 10-minute mark or you can keep rotating as long as you're figuring that time out and they're all playing at least 10 minutes per half. All right, remember when you come in, guys, don't bring any food or drink from outside. We do have some vending machines there, but do not be bringing a bunch of food and drinks inside so we can keep the place clean. All right, the game starts like any soccer game. It's going to start with the first successful kick. One team will get the first kickoff. The second half, the other team will get the next kickoff. At the signal of the referee, the balls will be placed in the middle. They're going to kick the ball, and it's live once we go that way. When you kick off, the only person that can touch that, the kicker cannot touch that ball until someone else has touched it. So you cannot dribble the ball with your feet all the way down the field. You have to kick it and the next person gets it. Throw-ins. The only time we're going to have throw-ins in this league in the out of bounds is if it goes over the barrier, or if a referee has stopped it for like an injury or something like that, then we'll throw it in on that too. A drop ball where we're just going to sit it and play. That's when like something outside the rule. Anything, because there's not much out of bounds besides going over the barrier. So anything like that, we'll drop the ball. If the ball, somebody touches with a handball, anything like that, we'll place it in the spot. Free kicks. Direct free kick. A goal can be scored directly by one player. If he has a free kick, he can kick it straight in the goal and it can count. A goal cannot, in an indirect free kick, a goal cannot be scored unless the ball is touched by another player other than the kicker. So in an indirect free kick, he'll kick it to a teammate, then they can kick it in. In a legal free kick, the ball must be in stationary position. The ball taking the free kick cannot play the ball again before it has been touched by another player. Same thing as the indirect free kick. They have to kick it, and then the next person has to kick it before it can go. The kicker can kick it again. The penalty area is the large rectangle around the goal. The only person that can be in there is the goalie in the indoor. No offensive player is allowed inside the penalty area. No defensive player except the goalie can be in the penalty area. If the offense is in the penalty area, it's going to be a goal kick for the defense. If the defense is in the penalty area, the offense will get a corner kick. All penalty kicks will be halfway between the front of the penalty area and midfield. The only two players involved in a penalty kick is the kicker and the goalie. The referee will signal the kick to go toward the ball, and then the kicker can either dribble it up and kick it or kick it free from the spot. The goalkeeper must stand in place until the ball is kicked. If they do move before the ball is kicked, then there will be another kick. The goalie cannot do anything to distract the kicker. All right, some of the acts that can get you a penalty or a direct free kick for the opposing team: slide tackling, no slide tackling in indoor; kicking, tripping, jumping on or charging an opponent; punching or slugging an opponent; holding, pushing, or handling the ball with your hands or arms. No handballs out there. Now, with that said, with little 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds even, if they put their hands up to block it, it's going to kick them right in the face. We're not going to call that. If they're just protecting themselves, the little ones, we're not going to call a handball on that, because the 4-year-old protecting their face is a lot more important than a handball. An indirect free kick will be awarded to the other team when you're playing dangerously, which is any of those prohibited acts. Shoulder-to-shoulder blocking off the action. If you don't have the ball and you're over there blocking someone, that's going to be indirect free kick. Attacking the goalkeeper when they have both hands on the ball. Any unsportsmanlike conduct. If anyone enters the field to argue a call made by the official, the result will be a penalty kick for the opposing team. That means a player comes off the bench to argue, a coach comes off the bench to argue, then we're going to give a penalty kick on that. Any two unsportsmanlike penalties throughout the season, let's say you get one at the beginning of the first game, then the second game you get another one, you could be suspended for the program the remainder of the year. I know we're not going to have that issue. You guys are going to do a good job for us. And so hopefully stay away from those unsportsmanlike conducts, because we don't want to lose a coach or a player. In 4-year-old to 3rd grade, it's going to be 5-on-5, and that number includes the goalie. So if If you do play a goalie, you'll have 4 other players out on the field, so 5 on 5. Fourth grade and fifth grade is 4 on 4, including the goalie. So you'll have 4 total players on the field. You'll see some black lines out there on the field. Those are the official field markings. We're going to provide you 1 referee. The referee is controlling all the activity, and their decision is final. As you know, refereeing is not a lot of people want to referee anymore. We have some great people, good young people, some adults that really like to referee to help the kids. So let's do our best to respect them and respect their position. They're going to do their best. They're out there to help us out. So please show them respect. As a coach, you're responsible for your parents, for yourself, for your team, and their behavior and conduct on the field. Ask the ref. If you want to dispute a call, we're good with that. As long as it's done respectful in a polite way. Let's talk to each other. If it's a rule interpretation that you can't get straight and the ref, you can't come to agreement, call me. Call me the next day, we'll take care of it. But out there at the sportsplex, let's not have any incidents. We don't want to end up on YouTube or anything like that because of a big argument, a big fight. That's not acceptable. I will listen to you all day long, but we cannot have incidents out on the field. And that means, coaches, you are in control of your parents also. A parent should never, ever approach a referee after a game or during a game. If you have a question, we have a representative up there. Everybody knows Todd. You can ask him a question. You can call me, but we can talk about it. But we're not going to accept anyone approaching our refs after or before a game in a disrespectful or even violent manner. So please keep that in mind. We appreciate that. In ages 4 to the 1st grade, you may have a coach on the field from each team. With that said, we don't want you in the middle of the play. Being on the field does not mean standing by the goal saying kick it. Being on the field doesn't mean moving players around. Being on the field means in a corner or something, coaching your team. But you have to stay out of the way of the game, okay? Don't get in the way of the game. Those kids are little, and if adults stand in the middle of them, it's just going to cause chaos. So make sure you're staying out of the way. Okay, hey guys, one thing remember also, assistant coaches, you have to have a background check. We need to know who's out there coaching our kids. And it's not a character judgment of anybody, it's just we got to have a background check. That's non-negotiable. Everybody that sits on the bench, works with kids in practices, or anything like that, direct input with the kids, direct contact with the kids, we have to have a criminal background. If you look up the criminal background for coaching on our website, or come up here to fill one out, it gives you exactly what can disqualify you from coaching. So you know beforehand if you should even fill it out. But we have to have one. We'll be checking that periodically, especially during after we got a few games in, we'll keep checking. We'll see who's out there coaching our kids. Make sure you fill it out, okay? Just do us that favor. You'll be good up all the way through till July. So let's go ahead and get those background checks done. Please, and don't put any hands or anything on a kid. No, not even just in an aggressive manner in any way. Let's just keep our hands to ourselves, because any of that stuff can turn into a bigger issue. So make sure we're not doing that. Do not get into it with the opposing teams. Do not criticize the other teams. Do not get into any kind of disputes with other players, other teams. Like I said, let us handle those situations. We can talk about it later on. The use of drugs, alcohol, or tobacco in any form at sportsplex we're not allowed. It's not allowed at all. So if we do think you're under the influence of alcohol or something, we might ask for you to leave and remove you. Do not. And also, we had this issue one time. Do not knowingly let an ineligible player play on the field. We had a kid last year jump in a game. He's not eligible. He hasn't signed the waiver. He's not part of the program. He's just a kid they threw out there to play. We caught it, thankfully, during the game. But that can result in a forfeit, and also you could be banned from coaching again, which we don't want that to happen at all, ever, because we do need you guys. And at the end of the day, just please use good sportsmanship. It's a kids' eat game. It's for these kids to learn, to have fun. Let's just have a good time out there. Make sure that you're respecting the facility, respecting the referees, respecting each other, and just have a good time with the kids. Because like I said, this program doesn't work without you guys. It doesn't work without referees. It doesn't work without the parents. We need everybody. So let's work together to have a great season. Please reach out to me here at Kids Inc. anytime. talk to Todd up at the Sportsplex. He's been here longer than as anybody. He knows everything about the game, about the Sportsplex. Feel free, but let's all keep it at a good season this year. So look forward to being out there watching your kids, and we'll talk to you soon.